You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yes, lit in the Chop Shop. Your dials up with the Chop Shop. They ain't facing debate, but they keep it back straight. 130 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from the 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks run back and forth like Carter Reyes, Skip Bayless, and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you rate your wheel. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat it. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Kill the competition, I'm flanking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they're cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah. In the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, and broadcasting all over the world. Jimmy, I think we're going to have Chris in the second hour. He texted me, say he'll be in the second hour. But Jimmy, we had a great day yesterday. We had a lot of stuff going on in sports today. I don't even really know where I want to start. Get some feedback from somewhere. I don't know. But Jimmy, I'm gonna let you call it. Let me fix this feedback on my end, and then I'll come back in. What you got, man?
Well, I mean, we get right into it. We're going to continue the conversation from yesterday, the UIL and their decision, their denying of the All-American wide receiver, Demond Demas, from his eligibility from Tomball. We'll continue that today, but first and foremost, get a few things out the way and chime on USA basketball.
Oh yeah,
Australia last night in an exhibition game, and USA prevailed 102-86 in the win. 50,000 fans was in attendance. Guys, that's huge. 50,000 fans.
Jimmy, they ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, but that's huge. You know why? Because this wasn't this. These are basically the rendition. Remember back in the NFL when they had the strike, and remember what they called those guys back in the old days who broke the strike lines? Remember what they called them?
Scabs.
These are the equivalent of the scabs.
Whoa, what are you talking about?
They didn't break a line of striking or nothing like that. But in other words, these are our second, third tier guys. Think about it. That are playing right now. I think on the roster, only 2 of them made the All-Star game. Only 2 All-Stars. We're not talking about all NBA. We're just talking about All-Stars. So, I mean, Kemba Walker, 23 points. but he took 22 shots. Right?
Good.
Miles,
Hey, that's not good, boss.
that could be a problem. You know what? People will tolerate that if you win. But let that be a
Yeah.
loss in taking 22 shots in USA basketball. Kimball. Now, Miles Turner, double-double. 15 points, 14 rebounds. Miles Turner probably has emerged himself as because the inside, the center is our weakest position on this USA basketball team, without question. Donovan Mitchell, 13 points. Kyle Kuzma, 12 points. All 12 was 3-pointers. He was 4 of 5 from 3-point lane. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, 11 points apiece. Right? In this. Marcus Smart did not play at all in this game, which they didn't need him to because he's nursing an injury. And but on that Australian team, you had De La Dova, Patty Mills, Bogut, and those guys were playing for the Australian team. And but 102 to 86 is not the normal. So should we be okay and expect this group grow ourselves to expect the 20 points or less wins from USA basketball, not none of the 40s and the 50s as yesteryear or what we've been accustomed to seeing. Is this going to be the norm?
Jimmy, what yesterday you talking about Michael Jordan them years? Because we haven't been killing nobody in the last about 15, what is it, 4 years? In the last about 12 years, we ain't just been killing nobody. These guys, man, what has happened? The world has caught up with us. They got pros on their team too. We just got more pros, but guess what? What they said, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
You follow me? More money, more problems. We got more pros, but you said something real key. We got some NBA All-Stars, and some of those All-Stars, to me, Jimmy, that some of these guys been getting is because they was in the East, and the East ain't that, wasn't that great. If they was in the West, they would be, so nonetheless, they're All-Stars, but, I don't consider, I'm a star guy, and a superstar guy, and we don't have many, and no superstars are on this team this year. So yes, we got to expect that, Jimmy. We got Harrison Barnes playing, Jimmy. Excuse me. When they played the last time, remember me and you talked about Harrison Barnes never taking off his uniform. He didn't even ever get it wet. Remember when they was on the boat? In Greece, they had to step. In Brazil,
he was the Christian Laettner of that team.
Yes. Now guess what? He playing big minutes. He big man Harrison Barnes now. How about that?
How about that's good or bad. Also, in other news, of course, you guys haven't been following it. Zion Williamson has filed versus ex-agent or representative, and he's filed amendments in court. How do you? That's your expertise, and you might let us know.
Let me tell you something about that. That thing had already been filed, because you remember the agency. I don't know if you're not familiar with it. I haven't been, I haven't been up on it, but I can tell you. You know how you say I can connect the dots for you, per se. Well, Zion Williamson. Y'all hear me on this one. Zion Williamson, when he was at Duke, when he got out of Duke, I guess he had this relationship. I'm not sure. They had a relationship with this agency. I'll tell you the name of the agency in a minute. Oh, Prime Sports. Prime Sports. So this a lady owned it. Her name is Miss Ford, Gina Ford. They had this relationship with him. I think he got not a guardian, but a godfather. I don't know the relationship. He had one guy, I think Chubby Wells, that used to be an agent. Then he found out he wasn't. certified, so he couldn't represent. Because I remember Jimmy was telling me, man, that thing already done. You know, people were telling you that thing was already done, but it really wasn't. So he signed with a marketing team first. Usually you go and sign, usually you go for sign with an agent first, and the agent most likely have a marketing arm in his company. Zion was unconventional. He went and signed a marketing team because they was going to try to do the deal sort of like, they were going to try to do the NBA deal on their own or something. It was some crazy stuff going on that I just don't know. So what happened, he got in bed with this lady. This lady was doing some stuff for him and negotiating some deals from her point of view for him before he became a pro, before the draft. Let's go, before the draft. So CAA got hold to him, Creative Arts Agency. You remember that agency that I've been telling y'all about? There's two big ones like CAA and Octagon. They got these big conglomerates that were in the movies and the entertainment industry, and now they said, wait a minute, we tired of this. Let's go over here and get us some of these. We tired of representing all these white people. We're going to go over here and represent some of these brothers too. So these two big agencies came, they got the Chris Pauls and those kind of guys that come along, and that's how they built their brand. So what happened, from what I see, CAA came in and told Zion, gave Zion an offer he couldn't refuse. So Zion think he can just disregard this lady and just say, go on, I'm firing you, I'm finna hire CAA. Mind you, CAA has a marketing arm and an agency where he can get everything in one place. But this lady Gina Ford filed a $100 million lawsuit against CAA and Zion. Hold on. His potential earnings that we would have made, $100 million. So now they got this unique rule, and I guess it just might be in North Carolina because a district court in North Carolina said that he shouldn't have been able to sign with them because they dealt with him while he was a student at Duke. Jimmy, see some gray areas there, Jimmy. So, and you don't know who they said many states like North Carolina require the agents to be registered. Mississippi.
That's the loophole. That's the loophole that Zion is trying to climb.
Yeah. Because there's some cities like, and this state, they just talking about it right now, Jimmy. But Zion had already put this in place. When that lady sued them, Zion, this is what he came back with. So it's just a fact. We just don't see who gonna win. This is new territory to me. Somebody saying, well, man, he shouldn't been. I'm trying to read some North Carolina state statutes specifically. They were specifically designed to protect student athletes. There they go again. UIL, what? Supposed to be what? Designed to protect student athletes. Or the NCAA, designed to protect student athletes. So it's, Jimmy, this is a new one. I've never seen it like this before, and I can't wait to know about. And according to the original suit, y'all, to give y'all a little bit more, the agreement was unlawful between North Carolina, a Uniform Athletic Agents Board, because Prime Sports is not certified by the NBAPA or registered as an agent. But she wasn't trying to register as no agent. She registered as a marketing person. That's different. So the lady might have grounds to stand on, Jimmy. She ain't no
unless they can prove in the court of law that this lady, Mrs. Ford, or Prime Sports attempted to act in the pretense of an agent, which none of us know. That means they got to probably have a motion to discover the text messages and the
Yeah,
emails.
yeah.
And if they attempted to act in that
Uh-huh.
capacity, then guess what? Zion could have some legs on that.
But
If
Jimmy,
not,
think about it. But if you think about it, we can connect some dots for you. They can never say you can't. You got to be a member of the NBAPA. If you don't have an NBAP in her firm, I don't care what they say. If nobody in her firm is registered at the NBAPA, then and guess what? They never tried to do think about this, Jimmy. They never tried to do a NBA deal because what? He wasn't an NBA player yet. They were doing marketing deals for him. They were negotiating marketing deals. He wasn't even signed with the New Orleans Pelicans yet. So that's gonna be I can't wait to figure this one out. I can't wait to see how this goes. Yeah.
yeah,
And all I'm telling you though, but guess what? Here we go again, Anthony Weston. We got this company over here, white company and a white company fighting over this black athlete. Beat that so y'all can just constantly get this. I want to ingrain this in your mind. You got this big conglomerate, this marketing arm, these people fighting over our black athletes. Jimmy, I told this story before, but I know we got new listeners. Jimmy Hicks, if you go over to Saudi Arabia, you go over to Dubai, Jimmy Hicks, I've been over to those places. I talked to those people. Jimmy, those people, and I asked them, how do a guy like me get in business with y'all like this? They said, Robert, it won't happen. I said, why? He said, these are our natural resources. We can't let you in, Rob. You go over to Nigeria, you go over to South Africa, you try to go over there and think you can invest in those diamond mines and their minerals over there, Jimmy. Guess what? Jimmy, those are their natural resources. They're not going to let you in. Guess what's our natural resources? These players like Dedmon, these players with like the De'Aaron Foxes. These guys are our natural resources. All of these guys in this city help cultivate this. You help cultivate the exposure. You know, we got guys like DJ Anderson that worked out all of these guys before. They didn't put these kids are our natural resources. Why do we allow outside people to come in and just get rich off of our natural resources? We are the only people that do that. And it's not that I'm trying to be militant. I'm just trying to raise awareness because you might not know. It's all right. Oh man, I was CAA. Go look how CAA was developed and who developed them and who's benefiting from it. Definitely not. Have you noticed a lot of the athletes don't go back and do stuff in their neighborhoods now as much as they should because who they're represented by. They don't have to be held accountable. Follow me? So, Jim, I didn't mean to go on, but when you talk about subjects like this is something I've lived. Ain't nothing that I done read in a book, in a magazine. This is something I done lived for the last 25 years of my life. So I sit here and I just wonder, when I go and interview over to somebody's house, I'm interviewing them, they interviewing me. And when I walk out of that building, when I walk out of that house, Jimmy, I always wonder, what's going on in them parents' mind? What's going on in the kids' mind? You know, Jimmy, I done walked out of meetings before where I knew we weren't going to get the kids. I get in the car and talk to my partner. I said, we ain't going to get it. The questions that they ask Jimmy, it's crazy, but I don't want to go. But all I'm saying, Prime Sports fighting over white company, white conglomerate fighting over our natural resources. Y'all, it has to stop, and it's going to start with you parents. It's going to start with this community. Now you wonder, Jimmy, this is why you don't have the black coaches. This is why you don't have the black coaches at the college level. This is why you don't have the black coach. And Jimmy, and I'm glad, and I know we ain't talking about football, but I saw how everybody was chopping up Stephen Ross from the Miami Dolphins. And you know I'm going to go deep, a lot deeper. But guess what I found out about Stephen Ross, the guy that they kicked off the committee the other day, the guy who allowed Venus and Serena to be minority owners. Let me tell y'all something about Stephen Ross, this guy. His GM, he the only NFL that the general manager is black and the head coach is black. That's the only one in the whole NFL. So guess what? I'm going to start pulling for them. Another team, Jimmy, I'm going to give you, I'm just because it's on my mind. Another team I'm going to start pulling for. The Tampa Bay Crab Legs. I meant to tell you this the other day, but our business, you know, our topic's been. I'm going to tell you why. The only team, Bruce Arians. You remember Bruce Arians who left the Cardinals, the Phoenix Cardinals? He got sick. You know, his health was bad, so he quit, right, for a year and a half. He is the coach of Crab Legs. Tampa Bay. The only team in NFL history, Jimmy. You got to hear this. What you call it? The offensive coordinator is black. Defensive coordinator is black. The special teams coordinator is black. And the assistant head coach is black. Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich, I don't know the other guy's name. Jimmy, this history. This never happened before. So that's why if you watch, like people talking about the New York Knicks, that's why I cheer for teams like that. Because guess what? Stephen Ross, think about what I told you, Jimmy. You're busting him upside his head, but you don't like his political affiliations. I don't like him either. But when I go study a man, I want to see his whole. I want to go see his whole life instead of his political aspirations. But you can go. You can go.
So with that thought in mind, now, I'm sitting over there. I'm laughing inside right now. So understand it. For white people, it's just that easy. So this all they got to do is put these black people in these positions, and they get a pass. Now,
Jimmy, positions of power.
Okay, position of power. So with that thought in mind, Donald Sterling, who they're doing podcasts on right now, the Sterling Power. So Donald Sterling, he had black people in positions of power. Not at the very top, but Doc Rivers had a dual role, right? A dual role as coach and what else?
He was coach and the GM. He was a coach, the GM, the president, and everything. He was everything.
And he had Chocolate City on his bench on the side of him, except for one. He had two white guys behind it on the side. Yeah. But the majority. So Donald Sterling didn't get a pass. Well, you know what? For white people, he got a pass.
He got a pass for 40 years. He got a pass until that video came out. Hold up, Jimmy.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's been doing this.
Just like they knew Stephen Ross had been doing stuff until recently. Stephen Ross ain't just started being the way he is. It just it spills over into the public, and that shows you what the public sentiment can do for a lot of people. That stuff does pick away and it chips away. Otherwise, trust me, he wouldn't give 2 cents as to what me and you think.
Jim, they had to invent in the NFL a rule called a Rooney Rule. You got to understand, these people don't have to hire black folks now. They own this stuff. They don't have to. But guess what? If you're a young man like Brian Flores and the GM, and you want an opportunity to be a GM, all the owners are white, Jimmy. So you expect for those guys to say, well, the owner is white, so my dream of being a GM, I need to just forget about that because the owner is white. Guess what? If that's the case, almost everybody on this Facebook feed right now wouldn't have a job because most of the companies they work for are by white. So, Jimmy, I know what you're saying, but Jimmy, most of the companies are owned by white people.
Most are.
In
professional sports, what we're talking about right now.
I'm talking about all over the world.
But I mean, right now we're talking about professional sports, and most of them are owned by white people. But at the same time, that's why they have players associations and players unions to serve and protect the employees.
Excuse me. Also, Tampa Bay, thank you, Kerry Holmes. I don't know how I let that go by. He also have two women coaches on his staff. All of that's Bruce Arians doing that. I'm just telling you. But you got to go look at his backup. He grew up, the way he grew up, he's very confident in who he is. So, but I understand what you're saying. But Jimmy, 32 owners in NFL. 32. All of them white. Owners in NBA. All except one is black. Michael Jordan is this. So guess what? Of course. Hold up. The New York Knicks front office is blacker than Michael Jordan's front office. Yeah.
Well, don't get a twist now. Ever since Michael Jordan got in Charlotte, he definitely took care of a few of his comrades from North Carolina.
You didn't hear what I said.
So
he took care of a few of his brothers. Yes. Yeah, them his guys.
Those are his brothers.
I just made a statement. I just said the New York Knicks front office, executive office, got a lot more black people than Michael Jordan has. Michael has black people on his staff now, but New York Knicks got more. And that owner, they trying to run him out of town too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
When the last time he won
the playoffs? Jimmy, the board of governors.
And hell,
board of governors.
Everybody want a different title now. That's how we get into them title stuff. Everybody wants to create their own title. Now we talked about Donald Sterling a while ago. Right. For those who have not seen the podcast or heard the podcast, the Sterling Files. Take hold on now. Take them through. We got 4 minutes. Take them through what's happening with the Donald Sterling situation. Ramona Shelburne, she's the I guess the narrator of this expose, and Donald Sterling is the former owner of the Clippers. What have they unraveled?
And guess who else helped Ramona Shelburne with that, Jimmy? Mark Spears, a guy has been on our show before. Mark Spears helped her with this. And y'all, it's so riveting. I'm telling you. I remember I called Jimmy. I was riding my bike, and I was listening to the podcast. It's 5 of them. It's 5 podcast series. Donald Sterling, in case you don't know, Donald Sterling is the former owner of the of the Clippers, Los Angeles Clippers. Let me give you some okay. And he got caught on videotape, just saying some disparaging remarks about black people, Magic Johnson, and everybody. Okay, so let me just, I'm trying to help you out. I didn't know, Jimmy, and a lot of fans probably don't know. Donald Sterling is a real estate tycoon. In the Beverly Hills area, in the Wilshire district, Donald Sterling owns most of that stuff. He's been owning it for years, long time ago. Do y'all remember Jerry Buss, who owned the Lakers? Let me give you some background. They were friends. You know, because both of them was what? In the real estate business. They were acquaintances. I put it like this. And Jimmy, let me help you out to today. Donald Sterling was his heroes, who he looked after and who he took after and looked up to. One was Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers. Guess who the other one was, Jimmy?
Who?
Your dude. That's his hero. They wrote it. You know what? One of the most prized possessions in Donald Sterling possession. They wrote an article on him. Guess what they called him? The Trump of the West. Because he been sued a million times having slumlord tendencies. And he wore that as a badge of honor. Follow me? This guy, he loved Trump. So guess what? Hold on, I got more. Jerry Buss, when he was about to buy the Lakers from Jack Kent Cook, Jerry Buss, one of his investors fell out. One of his investors stopped. Backed out. He needed $3 million more. Who loaned him the money? Donald Sterling. He put up some of his buildings. Jerry said, you can have this building, you can have this building. Give me $3 million. That's how Jerry. So he was a little. Donald Sterling wasn't one of the best looking guys in the world, Jimmy. And Jerry Buss, had all the women. Let's check this out. Older guy, had the Lakers, had all the women, had Magic Johnson. Now you see, he was jealous of Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson. Now you see why he talked bad about Jerry Johnson. Let me show you how cold he is, y'all. I let him buy the team in '81, the San Diego Clippers. Boy, it's so much, Jim. Jim, we don't talk about this every show. I'm gonna just give you a bigger piece right here.
Tell us about that side. No, understand.
Okay. Let's talk about the side piece.
His thing unraveled because of the side piece. They want to know about the side piece.
Okay. You a side.
Tell us what happened when he got that chocolate in his life. When he got that chocolate in his life.
Jimmy, her name is. She ain't chocolate.
Well, I'm talking about. That's that mocha.
Okay.
When he got that mocha in his life.
Let me tell you a little bit about her. Donald Sterling and her, they had this tumultuous, all the players. Donald Sterling and his wife sit courtside, right? She was right opposite across from them on the opposite side of courtside. That's where her seat's at. Hold up. When the wife is not there, she sits next to Donald. It was uncomfortable for everybody. This same lady, the side piece, she made Matt Barnes. I guess she bumped into one of Matt Barnes' sons, twins, and Gloria Giovanni. The one that messed with Derek Fisher now, his ex-wife. Her and her was about to go to blows because she knocked her son down. They said, Jimmy, this woman ran around here like. Later on when I tell you, she said that she was running this team. The side piece said, I'll run the team. Jimmy, let me show y'all. To all you guys who got side pieces out here, you better step your game up. Jimmy, Donald Sterling bought her a $240,000 Ferrari, a brand new Range Rover, a Bentley GT because she wanted the small one, and the Bentley four-door. He bought her 4 cars. Donald Sterling's wife found out about that. That's why him and her had a big falling out and a lawsuit because she's saying Donald brain wasn't right for giving that girl all them gifts. That's my money too. I want those gifts back. Jimmy, the reason the girl was taping him, Donald knew the girl was taping him. Donald was old. He forgets stuff. So the girl got, he was old, Jimmy. So she always played back what he just said. You gonna buy me this, you gonna buy me this. But Donald said, I don't remember that. And she played back the video. So they got hundreds of videos, Jimmy. Not that one, hundreds. So, but that what happened, the wife, her got to fighting at Neiman Marcus on Rodale. All right? They got into it. That's when the wife told Donald she can't come back in the facility. She can't come to more games. She cut off. She can't do that. Donald didn't do nothing about it. What the girl said. She went to TMZ, and TMZ disposed of it. That's how this whole thing. And later on, cause shit, I done got hot. I done got because I'm passionate about this. But that Don Sterling was something else. Y'all got to go get the podcast, but we're gonna share some more with you over the next coming weeks because it's a 5 series. But what else you got, Jimmy? You wanna take us to a break? Jimmy, look what I got, Jimmy. Look what I got.
You drew that?
No, I drew
Don't
this.
forget, guys, make sure if you're on social media right now, watching the Chop Shop, make sure you follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. That's Chop Shop HTX on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you like our pages. Meanwhile, don't forget, guys, this on next weekend, August the 31st, right? Ricky Winslow, former Yates High School star, former Phi Slammer Jammer, former Chicago Bull, and also the father of Justice Winslow, is hosting a 3-on-3 tournament that will take place at Goose Creek Memorial High School in Baytown. That's going to be August the 31st. Is the symposium with a variety of speakers will be there, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that is, I'll show you guys this right now. And we're talking about the Ricky Winslow and the 3-on-3 tournament.
Raise it up,
I'm giving it to you.
Raise it up.
There you go. I raised it all the way up for you. Also now remember, on August the 1st is the 3-on-3. The 3-on-3 will take place at Goose Creek Memorial, and the Chop Shop is sponsoring one team of students who wish to participate in this 3-on-3 tournament. If you're interested in doing so, simply send the email to chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's chopshophtx@gmail.com. And also, guys, once again, that's going to be September the 1st, the 3-on-3. But on August the 31st, join myself, Ricky Winslow, John Lucas, Judge Joe Stevens, and a lot of others over at Goose Creek Memorial, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a symposium on a variety of topics that can help you guys get through the rigors of understanding everything from health prevention to recruiting questions and a lot of other stuff, academic assistance, and of course, one of the most important things in our society right now, mental health. And that's very important as well. We'll talk about all that on next weekend, because you know how black folks say, ain't nothing wrong with my baby. Ain't nothing wrong with my baby. He don't need to do nothing. And guess what? Sometimes there's a little bit of something wrong with all of us. And so we need to just get off that horse and thinking that we're so much different in certain capacity. Now, we're going to twist it. We can take a lot more pressure than normal. We can deal with a lot more stress and overcome a lot more than others. We don't call it quits and go put a gun to our head with the normal, but that doesn't mean people don't think about it. And so, and coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to engage in the conversation about mental health, because earlier on the Chop Shop, you guys may have not noticed, but you remember Royce White, who played with the Rockets briefly and made the video that went viral, talking, I guess, calling LeBron James to the square about and defending Carmelo Anthony. Well, Royce White's mother was watching the Chop Shop. Say she'll be back at the top of the hour with some friends because they want to talk. And she was looking for Lionel Gar. That's what she was looking for. Say, Lionel Gar, I heard you hide out here. Look up, scroll up, look at the comments. I say, who's your son?
Who said that?
Yeah, Royce White's mom, named Rebecca White. She was on the Chop Shop just a while ago. I was talking to her. Look on the timeline. We've been talking. She said, I'm looking for Lionel Gar. I heard he'd be up in here every day. I said, yeah, but Lionel Gar, he hiding up in the closet right now. He hiding.
Oh.
She said, well, I got some words for him. He talking about my son, so I want him to keep talking about him right now. And so she said she will be back. We're going to talk about that topic at the top of the hour. Meanwhile, we'll dive right into something that's really, really, really important, and that is afterthoughts from yesterday. We'll get it out the way. Chris Walker expected to join us shortly as well at the top of the hour. We're going to also, on the back nine, I'm releasing the class of 2022 rankings for Greater Houston. Yesterday, I did the class of 2021. And, you know, of course, if you guys missed out on that, our number one player was Deuce Fardery from Foster High School, who played with the Houston Hoops. He's a two-sport star, one of the top linemen in the United States, but he's also the number one basketball player in the area. These rankings will be updated again very soon, but number 2 was Damari Williams. He played with the Houston Hoops. Javier Francis played for JL3, is number 3. Josh Farmer played with John Urin, the Houston Superstars, at number 4. And number 5, Sir Isaac Heron, who played with the Texas Elite Swift. Those are the top 5. Notice something, one thing that all those guys have in common, Jamari is 6'4". The rest of those guys are 6 foot, 6'6" and above. And which is a good grounds for when you're talking about rankings. That gets people's attention. And Jim, but we'll talk
Jim,
more.
Jim, you buzzed out a little bit on me. Deuce is the number one player in the city basketball wise. Right now, number one on RCS. And those rankings can be viewed at rcssports.com. rcssports.com, and this is what it looks like. You guys can see. You guys can see that. And so, I'll say YouTube. He like that. Go to YouTube, man. I'm telling you, Jimmy, I want you to like. I'm going to announce everybody who go to YouTube. I'm going to announce them every day. Whoever go to YouTube and like and subscribe to our YouTube page, Chop Shop HDX. I told you we got something special happen. I need y'all to do it. So keep on going.
And now you see, Anissa says, when we bring Miss White when we beam her in and video her in as we did the guest from yesterday, and Miss White would respond.
I got the bill.
She say, no, listen. She say, hell, I'll come to Texas. We can do it like that. So, but anyway, we're going to get in that topic at the top of the hour, because make sure, Hatter, you let Chris Walker know, because I want to include Chris Walker on this topic when we start talking about the Ross White. Meanwhile, let's reflect back on yesterday. If you guys missed it, there was one of the top wide receivers in the country, actually the number 2 wide receiver in the nation. He's a high school senior in Houston. He played for North Forest High School, right? He transferred out in January to Tomball High School, which is located on the other side of town from North Forest. North Forest is in urban Houston. It's an urban majority economically. Most of the families are economically disadvantaged, or right at the middle, at the best case. That most of them. Tomball is predominantly white. He transfers to the school. They had a hearing on him earlier, 2 days ago, and they ruled him not eligible. And I posted the link to the hearing in the VIP news on RCS Sports, right? Well, guess what? I reflected back on a lot of the notes. I went back and I watched some of the video again yesterday, and I have something to add on this. I really do. You know, on this young man, because there's a lot of beef going, and venom that's spewed in the communities. Because you understand.
I saw that.
North Forest is predominantly Hispanic and black. Not many. You can count the white people that attend North Forest High School on these 2 hands. So it's normal when one of the star athletes that has a chance to be, this kid had a chance to be like one of the best ever as far as wide receiver. He was deemed that type. He had that type of cred. Well, when one is plucked away and enrolls at a school like Tomball that went 2-8 last year, they did not even make the playoffs last year, and that's a predominantly white school. A lot of people, it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And as I say, I really believe it wouldn't have been this bad had he tried to go to C.E. King, had he tried to go to North Shore. It wouldn't have been this bad. North Shore is predominantly black. I really believe.
Why wouldn't it have been bad? What would you mean?
Well, because
Why
you
wouldn't it
remember
be
some of the optics in the video, some of the optics that the head coach from North Forest had testified to during the hearing is that the white mother of the star quarterback from the new high school would routinely come pick up this young man in the hood at North Forest High School in a red Porsche.
But Jimmy, I don't think I don't think that had any bearing on it because that's not that bad. You know, I think it's a lot of venom. I saw some on a Facebook page this morning, and it kind of alarmed me because we had one black man calling another black man out his name, talking about the coach of the university, of the high school, calling him out of his name. Dude, yeah. Come on, man. You know who you are. Grown men. Call that man, man. Right here. Call that man. Don't go on. I don't like these guys, grown men, on Facebook and on social media talking about somebody. Call that man. Go by. You know where you work at. Go by there and say those words to him. Don't get on social media and call a man a name like that, man. That we think about this, grown ass men. We trying to stop our youth being reckless on social media. But you can't go and do the same thing that you trying to teach your youth to stop doing, man. Oh man, I mean, when I saw that, I was really just, I was so dejected. If you felt that way and you want something done, Facebook and talking about another man ain't no way to get it done. And that's my public service announcement again, Jimmy. And Jimmy, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up my YouTube sign again. I'll put up my YouTube sign again. Somebody, Jimmy, go.
Understand. Martin Brooks was the guy that went on Facebook and talked real sideways about that coach, about the head coach. Now, I'm looking back on this thing. Let me tell y'all right now. I really believe this is one of those things where it was wrong on all sides. I believe the coach at North Forest High School should have let that kid go. He didn't want to be there, you let him go. Because if he did, I mean, understand the power. That means you're going to keep him there and he don't want to be there. You're not going to get 100% out of him. And he's already failing. You guys collectively had failed this young man at North Forest High School. You failed him because of the fact that we're not talking about a sophomore. We're talking about a rising senior. When he transferred, he was a junior. He had not taken the passed the STAR test. He had not attempted to take an SAT or an ACT test. Right?
Missed a lot of days in school. Missed a lot of days.
And you guys permitted somebody to come and check him out routinely without having a conference to find out what's wrong. Mind you, if you would have marked his butt absent, then guess what would have happened? No pass, no play. So if he's failing and flunking all this stuff, how is he so eligible to play every Friday night for your football program? I mean, understand, you're not without blame. And at the same time, do I think this thing, would that young man have still been ruled eligible? I really doubt it after looking back through the transcript and through the paperwork. I mean, through the tape. Let me tell you why. Guys, understand something. In dealing with this stuff with the UIL, and once again, like I said, I've been in UIL hearings. I've attended 2 of them. I went one and I had to sit at the front desk directly involved, and I went to another one as the media to cover one. And let me tell you, it's like any court. It's not a court, but it's their version of a court. It's a legal proceeding that you have. Everybody that sits down must raise their right hand and take an oath before speaking. Well, here's the deal. This young man, the mama testified that she still lives in the North Forest High School zone, in the same house that she lived in. The granddaddy, one of the grandfathers, moved into the Tomball zone in an apartment, right? Skip out and confirmed during the hearing. Little bitty things people don't pay attention to. The grandfather falsely claimed that he was the legal guardian of the young man. That's a red flag. If you lied about that,
claim it to, Jimmy, who did he falsely claim it to?
On the PAPL form. On the PAPL form, initially, he had claimed himself as the legal guardian. That was a red flag. That was a no-no. The parent must move. If that, I honestly believe, had that young man's mom had moved to the Tomball zone, and guess what? I don't know how it happened. And I told yesterday, there was questions about how the grandfather's rent was getting paid. I mentioned yesterday it was disrespectful to ask that question, but the reason they asked that question is because somebody had insinuated that somebody was paying the rent. That's why they asked that question, just so it could be documented. Well, if that's the case, I don't care who was paying the rent. It should have been the people at Tomball High School were at fault as well. Because Tomball High School, I expected more of intelligence in the process from their coach versus anything. And I'm gonna explain to you why. You guys shouldn't. This can't be the first rodeo or the first a situation where the coach at Tomball or any of them endured a transfer. It's the first of this magnitude of a kid that's an All-American. Yes, but if they would have simply got us 2-bedroom, moved the mama over there on Monday through Fridays until they come knock on the door, and then she can go back home on Northside on Cheeves Road in Northwood Manor on weekends. But she needed to have been there. That's one. That's number one. Number two, if you had to listen, there was no way that those coaches should have let those parents, the parent, the mother, the grandfather, a grandmother, and that kid sit at that table at that hearing and even go there without some legal representation or some counsel. There is no way they should sit in front of the firing squad based on and watching them. They had no chance in hell when they were sitting there. No chance in hell. And it's little bitty things like that. You have to prove that you did not transfer for athletic purposes. Did the North Forest coach mess it up? I don't think he messed it up. He created a mess of it. But the Tomball coaches are at fault as well, because they could have taught those. That kid was a student of Tomball High School now since January.
He did mess it up too, Jimmy, because I went back and listened to the thing. He was talking about the guy going over there to play football. He mentioned the high school coach talking about the guy going over there so he can play football. He did say that now. He said that in the hearing. The high school coach, Terrell, the coach. Coach said the granddaddy said that the kid going over there to play football.
Yeah, the coach at North Forest mentioned that.
I'm talking about the coach at North Forest. But you say he didn't really have that. Yes, he did.
No, I didn't say. I say he didn't mess it up. He created a mess, but he didn't mess it up. It was not this coach. This coach isn't the reason that the kid did not get ruled on, did not get permitted to play. Understand, they went to the district executive committee hearing first. The UIL is an appeal process. That means you had to go to at the local level. That means all of the schools who are members of that particular district have to meet, and you have a hearing now first. So when that hearing, They got ruled 6-1. It was
Jimmy,
6-1.
Jimmy. But what makes me laugh is the man asked him, when you went out there, did you talk to the head coach? He said, yeah, I talked to the head coach. I talked to some teachers. I talked to them. I said, man, they know you like I told you. One of them, hey, y'all got to go back and see this stuff. One of them guys sitting to the far right, that man ain't got off his telephone yet. That man said, I know I'm voting against him. Coach, see, Jimmy, now you're explaining to me, they done been through this process before, so these people got all this information already. Y'all didn't have a chance of making this thing happen. I'm sorry.
And we go right now to the boom boom room and address some of the questions that you guys have before we move to the next topic. And of course, Anthony Favre says that he should have stayed quiet. Now the state and the public know that he doesn't have grades. UT would not let him be eligible at A&M. And that's the thing. If it was hard for him to qualify, right, before, and they're saying the option is for him to graduate and enroll in A&M in January. Well, hell, he's still going to have to. So taking the SAT and getting that part, that's the easy part because he hadn't took one yet. So he can't be red flagged because he hadn't taken one yet. But however, there is a way for they can take the kid out of school, or they can go in GED him. He can go and get a GED, and then take the test and be eligible. Or if they plan on redshirting him at A&M in football, all freshmen don't hardly play. It's hardly rare that a freshman actually plays anyway. So they can understand him, come on in and buy into it. And that way now he do like Jared Vanderbilt did at Kentucky. You go and you take 24 hours, then it don't matter about the SAT. It don't matter what you qualify. You get a GED, and that's what he could do. It's ways around that stuff for people, different programs that understand and know. So we'll see how that go. And but at the same time, we mentioned the wrongs, and the kid, like, once again, I said that the Tomball coaches are not without blame. Plenty of blame go on them. When that kid moved over there, the Texas A&M coaches are not without blame. They should have made that young man unplug his social media and get the hell off social media the minute that he transferred. And guess what? You can't.
What did he say? What did he say on social media that hurt him?
Well, just a lot of different stuff about him and teaming up with his buddy, and his buddy the quarterback, and stuff about what he going over here to win and at Tomball and can't wait to leave. So you can't. Not saying. So that mean athletic purposes. You're not saying I'm going over here so I can get qualified, and that's what Melvin Dewes asked. Melvin Dewes say, well, if he's flunking on the Boomer Room, saying if he's flunking at North Forest, then why should he not go to Tomball to get qualified? Well, why Tomball? Nobody lived in Tomball before he went there. The granddaddy moved over there and lived in with somebody else. During the hearing, it was testified. Then he eventually got his own apartment. Why Tomball? And then the granddaddy said during the hearing he wanted to move the kid out of the environment of Northeast Houston. He wanted to get away from that environment. So that was the reason as to why Tomball. But hell, look how many school districts you skipped over. Look how many. To go to a Tomball? Come on, man. Come on. Okay. And so what are some of the other comments?
I mean, it's so many. It's so, but Anthony Favre said something great. I love it. He said no high school coach should ever advise a kid to drop out and get a GED.
No, I didn't say the high school coach. No. High school coach not going to do that. Not going to do that. I'm saying that we're talking about if the college, the Texas A&M, want him on campus.
I got a question, Jim. Odyssey said this yesterday, and I overlooked it. I'm sorry, Odyssey Williams. He said, who the hell wants to go play for Tomball anyway? They trash. Did you got me, Jim? He said, who the hell? He said it yesterday, but see, you got to understand, is Tomball not a good football team? I wouldn't call the kids trash, but are they not a good football team?
Well, they wasn't last year. Yeah, I can tell you that. And then I went and I looked up on yesterday. I went on Sunday, the Houston Chronicle, right? They published their top 100 seniors in all of Greater Houston, right? This young man, Demond Demas, is number 2 in the area, behind Zach Evans at North Shore. That quarterback from from Tomball, he's number 73. Not in the state, not in the country, in just Houston.
Jimmy,
And
why
trust
you
me,
go there,
they're
man?
not-
Why you go there, man? Why you go there with little Hunter? What is that, Hunter? What is that? What's the kid's name?
Hunter Dunn. Hunter
Why
Dunn.
you go there with little Hunter? Why you do little Hunter like that, man?
Hunter Dunn. That's his name. And remember, we had Adam Coleman from the Houston Chronicle was on the Chop Shop yesterday, and we asked did Hunter have any offers, and he confirmed that Temple is the only offer that he had as of recent days. So they were trying to, obviously it's been alleged that they're trying to package, that somebody's trying to package the quarterback with the wide receiver, which is not uncommon. It's just that in this situation, it has the blind side type taste to it. And, you guys can feel any type of way you want to. My thing is, the trainer, I reached out to Mr. Rashard on yesterday, and I invited him to the Chop Shop to speak his take. And remember, he respectfully declined. But my thing is, Mr. Rashard is not without blame as well, because here's the thing,
Why?
guys that are because Mr. Rashard is acting as a liaison from the coaches to the college coaches or to the family and the coach, so he's inserted himself into their lives, and
So
also
he's a handler.
yeah, he's a handler. They didn't use that term, but he's a handler. So then, if you're a handler, then you also taking that kid on trips to college campuses, which during the hearing, it was confessed that he took him to Georgia was one for sure. I remember him taking this young man on a trip, and that's Demas, to University of Georgia. Well, if you're acting that capacity, and this is what I tell people all the time, understand, man, I know some families and life is hard for a lot of families out there. But then here's the thing, if you're the handler, if you're the trainer, you're the developer, everybody, we on this name tip right now. Nobody wants to be called a handler. Whatever the hell you want to call yourself. Why is it so hard to empower the parents with information? Why is it so hard? Why does everything got to be on this hip and the information on the other hip? That's all I'm saying. Why? Why couldn't that mom be involved? Why couldn't that granddaddy or that grandmom be involved in the equation of information in the recruiting process?
Jimmy, did you listen to the mama and the granddaddy?
Yeah.
Jimmy, they got issue. Jimmy, everybody, Jimmy. I'm going to say this because I want to say this carefully. Maybe the mom and the granddaddy, these people are not prepared to deal with these people, man. So sometimes that's why guys like this, think about it, Jimmy, they wasn't even prepared to deal with the UIL. How they gonna be prepared to deal with Kirby Smart, them sharp, them guys who like to brain screw you in college basketball? So don't mind the footwork king or whatever his name being a voice of reason in there. I just think somebody should have took this thing aside. And you know what? Forget all of this. Y'all, we doing all of this. I love the kid. You know what? The kid came on there and said, my mom and them mad, my family mad, everybody else about me mad. He said, but man, they threw me a curveball. Sometimes I hit them, and I missed this one. But I ain't going to strike out. A young man. He got more voice. He got more poise than anybody. And man, he said, but I will not be going back to North Fork. I will be continuing my education at the other school. And guess what, Jimmy? Hey, You can tell everything wasn't organized. You talking about the guy, the trainer, being injected, but he should have been injected into this meeting. Somebody should have been smart
No,
enough to be
no,
injected
no,
in
no,
this meeting.
no. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, injecting me.
I didn't say they gonna listen. I didn't say they could come to the meeting. Somebody should have been prepared. Jimmy, anytime I go into a situation, I'm always prepared. They were not prepared to go in this meeting.
Allen, that trainer could have went to the meeting. He could have went there. It's a public hearing. It's an appeal. See, understand?
Listen, you're missing the point. I said prepare them.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. He didn't. He did not. He did not. Understand? Do you understand how much money these guys are getting? Do you think that trainer don't have a scouting service? Do you think that he don't have a scouting service? We had Pat Truesdale on yesterday.
Get out of that man pocket, Jim.
No. You have to, because you have to understand this. That means if you're getting a piece of the pie, you can feed this family and take care of the grandmama. Say the house was in foreclosure. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm on that side of the fence, and if I was a trainer or a handler in football, I promise you, I'm gonna go to that grandmama. I'm gonna go take care of that house. You know what? That kid gonna be mine, but I'm gonna take care of that house. I'm gonna go there and make sure the bread on the table, make sure meat in the refrigerator. I'm gonna make sure they got a lawyer that gonna walk in there with them. But that kid gonna be mine when it comes to going and getting eaten off of him, because that's basically what you're doing. If you're shopping him and you're going, I've done that before, so that's why I can speak on it. I've took kids to college campuses. I've got cash. So if I got cash, then that means I know I can speak on it. I know what goes on. So that means in that circle, that guy should have had that family. That kid being one of the 2 wide receiver in the country, his family should not be struggling like that if you're going to all these schools. It shouldn't be. Shouldn't be, man, at all. It shouldn't be. The mom should be.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'm glad you said that. So if he getting money from these colleges, is that his practice, right? That's what he been doing, right? So all the money that he been getting, cause he got other kids he do this for too, I'm sure. So every dime that he gets from these colleges, you saying you used to give all the money to the parent and the kid.
I created a way for that parent and that kid. I asked them, what do you want? What do you need?
That wasn't a question.
No. I didn't say all the money.
All the money. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. You want to make sure that, but you make sure they're taken care of. You make sure that's
a $1,200 a month apartment, a $1,500 a month apartment. That would have been the first thing you would have did. Got this lady.
No, that wouldn't have been. No, to get him eligible, that's what it would have taken to get him eligible. I would have made the accommodation, explain to the mama with influence. Hey, mom, listen, I know you don't want to leave the hood, but you got to move over here with your son for a couple of months. You got to, in order for him to be eligible.
My thing is, how is he going to get in school, Jimmy, without taking SAT? How's he going to get in A&M without taking it?
He going to take an ACT. He going to take one. He got 6 months to do that. That's the easy part, because he hadn't taken it yet. So that means he can't be red flagged for a bad score.
But he want to go early. Don't he want to go to school early?
Taking the test is the easy part.
6 months? The easy part. 6 months? That's okay.
Getting the GPA.
Jimmy, it just seemed like nobody cared about this kid's grade.
The next ACT date is on the first weekend, the first Saturday in October. That's the next one right now. He can sign up right now during the registration right now and take that one. College, normally they take those college coaches. They're pros at that point. Taking the SAT or the ACT for a kid like that ain't the issue. It's whatever his GPA that's going to meet whatever score he needs. So they're not going to let him take that test until they get that GPA up a little bit. So he probably going to take some online classes. So they got a lot of online classes.
And truly, that's really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, forget the test, okay? Because I'm talking about how in the head, don't seem like this kid going to get eligible to me. And that's the problem I'm having. that with the footwork king and whatever his name is, those are problems I'm having with the people. If you benefited from this kid's talent, then let's make sure he's able to get to where you've been getting the money from. And is it just me? It's just something ain't right about this whole situation, and I guess that's what we're talking about. But guess what? I'm really done with it. Ain't nothing we can do about it. But unless we get some new news, I mean, we can wrap this thing up. We can talk about something else.
I mean, yeah, it's just your guys. We look at some of the comments on the Facebook feed in the Boomer Room,
Okay.
and as
Okay.
usual, address some of your takes. And Tyrone, the football player, kick up this is more important than the academics in Texas. And
Yes, Tyrone.
Andy Favre says the footwork king charges $120 a session with a house in foreclosure. If your grandmama's house in foreclosure, what do you think that Mr. Demas was paying $120 a session? Do you honestly believe that he's paying $120 a session? That kid. That's what I'm saying, man. If you're gonna eat off of the kids and you're in control of one, my thing is, guys, you gotta do your part and you gotta step up. Make sure the people eat, man. That's all. This kid, does he have a car? He must not, because they had to get picked up from school in a Porsche by the other kid's mom. Hell, you couldn't get the kid a hoopty. You get a hoopty for $900. A kid like that, 6'4". Let me tell you something, guys. You never understand the athleticism of this kid. I watched him play basketball. He can touch the top of the square. No, seriously. He can touch the top of the square. And this was in the 10th grade.
Jim, this man got God-given skills where he can jump and flip and do all this stuff like a gymnast and ain't never been trained. This kid is unbelievable.
The footwork king got it.
Now the footwork king just show him how to footwork. I'm not gonna talk about this guy's business because somebody else said that's not my, because it's a black-owned business. But footwork king just teach you footwork. That what he do, Jimmy. I mean, I've never seen an athlete like it. I mean, so I guess that's why we're talking about in Tyrone. This kid is phenomenal. I mean, he come off the street in jeans and street clothes and just jump up and do a 360 on the basketball goal without even warming up. And it's the kid that, I mean, see now, Jimmy, you know what Jimmy, I just thought about something. This the same kid that one week said he going to Texas. We went to Texas visit. He said he liked Texas. Then he went to there and said he liked. That's the same kid. I thought he was going to Texas. And Jimbo said, "Oh no, you going to A&M?" So you know what? You know what Ricky Scott brought up sounds like a version of Derek Griffin.
You know what? I was just thinking about that.
Wow.
As you was talking now, I was just thinking about Derek Griffin. But Derek Griffin, he stayed at the same school at Terry High School 4 straight years. And don't get it twisted, won a state championship in basketball at Terry High School. That was the thing that kept Derek Griffin there, because people were trying to pluck him away from Rosenberg Terry High School. Derek Griffin, you guys think about this. He come out in 2013. He played on the summer team with the Harrison twins, Houston Defenders. Derek Griffin, he too could touch the top of the square. Derek Griffin he really, really had high trajectory. And guess what, guys?
Thanks, Bob.
He went to Miami, then went to a prep school. Ended up at TSU a couple of years
bad
later.
advice. That's another kid. It's another kid that had bad advice. Hey, y'all. If y'all, Jimmy, if they know some of these kids, People out here in Facebook, like, y'all know. Let me tell you something, man. It is no excuse. Since this Chop Shop been on for 3 years, it is no excuse here to not be informed. I'm finna repeat that right now one more time. Jimmy, myself, Chris Walker, that is no excuse. We can't reach everybody. That's why we ask y'all to share the show. There's no way another kid out of this city be put in this situation like this. And guess what? We'll keep it off the air. It's us. This is our little diaspora that we dealing with right now. You know, look at Jimmy put that out. Hey, for real, y'all. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. No reason. There's no reason a professional athlete should ever go broke. There's no reason a professional athlete that should have to go and worry about which agent he picking. It's no, think about it. On this show, you got 3 guys that can take your kid from the 9th grade all the way to the end of his career in sports or entertainment or whatever he want to do. All y'all got to do, we give y'all the email address every day. It's all right. You don't have to sign with me. I'm going to still help you. I told you the story this year. A guy signed with another agent, but guess what? He called me to look over the deal, and I saw some references on his marketing deal. And I highlighted and, you know, I put a sticker on it and sent it back to him and said, don't you sign this, man. Y'all have no reason to have to go through this stuff. And maybe but boy, Jimmy Hicks' favorite word, and Slim McDaniel just put it. Input equal output. You gotta let me know. You can't be nervous. You can't be, well, don't talk to him. He's arrogant. No. Everything I can to help my community. Forget everything else that I'm going to do everything that I can to help this community. There's no excuse. No more. Today, you know it. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Subscribe to everything. Y'all need this information. Jimmy, a wise man told me, Mr. Hatter, the most valuable thing in this world is information. The most valuable, because if you got the right information, you can do anything you want to do. You got to have the right information. And we, as a people, are being misinformed and underinformed. That's why we are walking to a meeting looking like the Clampetts in a meeting unprepared. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. No excuse for it. And Herb said, let's be honest, there's some cloudy controversy of the kids. But Herb, them the kind of kids that we need to help. Some kids don't need our help. Those the guys. Did Jesus tell y'all he don't want to go to the church? They supposed to be well already. He want to go amongst the people. They the one that need him most. Desmond Dennis, whatever Desmond did, he the one need us most. Don't need us. Son don't need us like that. Like this really need us, man. Just like Herb, you going in the communities helping these other guys. It's guys that I ain't never heard of before. It's in the community helping these kids. Them the kids that need us, man. So, Jimmy, you can go, man. That, you know, I get on my soapbox here. Y'all,
I mean, I'm reading a lot of the comments in the Boom Boom Room, and we right now, like I said, you know, guys, the Chop Shop. This is one of the great reasons why we serve such a valuable purpose in the middle of your days, because no other sports talk show is going to give it to you like this, and we're going to no other sports talk show is going to spend this much time on amateur sports. And that's what we try to do. And the thing is, what we ask in return is for you guys to make sure you spread the word and share the show. And that's all we ask in return. I'm gonna read some of your comments as well. Kenneth Lofton says you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. And also, Anthony Weston says most people don't understand a person just wanting to help. And then Anthony Forbes says people are too prideful.
Mm-hmm.
The trainers and handlers feel you're going to take their kid.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, and that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, see, that part of the prideful is what I mentioned in earlier. There ain't no way in the hell, man. And we all know the guys. We have a situation, hell, right in Houston, where you had two white kids. That's what I'm saying. See, it has a different type of piercing when you see. It happens to us. We know it. We know black folk. We know it domestically, but then it just pierces a different type of way when you see white people that go and they have the influence over our kids, and our kids and family ain't eating. But everywhere they go, the white people, they're going and they're getting broke off. That's a different type of piercing right there. It is. And of course, white people, you guys may not. You might say, well, what's the difference? Well, it is. It's just different like that because of the fact that a lot of us, we have to overcome our issues. And our thing is, think about it like this. You can tell from little kids when they're little about habits like that. You think I'm joking? Mm-hmm. If you go and put a bunch of French fries or chicken tenders on the table and have 4 kids around the table and tell them, let's eat. Watch that. It's going to be one that's going to try to grab as many of them as he can. It's going to be that one.
You're right.
And that's going to be a habit that can follow all the way through that kid's life because he's going to be greedy. He's not going to he can't eat but 3 or 4 of them. He's going to try to grab as many as he can. That's so you could tell it, dude, we have a problem allowing and in putting others in a situation where they can eat. And why is that? Why is that? I think of myself, and I give you guys all this. I'll tell the story once every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Eating in the basketball community. Like you mentioned, I tell a couple of years back, I did an event, and I said, Alan Branch, come on, let's do an event. We did an event together. A lot of people may not even remember that. It was at Fallbrook Church. We did an unsigned senior showcase with Alan Branch. I brought him in with an opportunity for him to eat. A couple of years later, I went and found an opportunity for Glenn Smith to eat with an unsigned senior showcase that was in Dallas. A couple of years later, I'll fast forward all the way to now, different other people I brought in that had an opportunity to eat. Marcus Sloan. I brought Marcus Sloan into my Christmas crossover last year with an opportunity for Marcus Sloan. You can mute him real quick, Hal.
Okay.
I brought Marcus Sloan in with an opportunity for him to eat. Understand this. Black folk giving other black folk an opportunity to eat. I brought Rick Nelson in with the Southwest Exposure Camp. Not just Rick Nelson, but Henry Sims and DeShannon Holmes with an opportunity for those guys to eat.
But Jimmy,
get me.
Sometimes people need more than you giving them something to eat. Maybe they need you to teach them how to fish. Sometimes you got to teach them how to fish. That's what I always learn with my people in my sphere of influence. Teach them how to fish. Don't give me nothing.
What we talking about? What are we talking about
here? Jimmy went off on one of his diatribes.
The topic right now is in our community, black people in the amateur sports. There is an epidemic. Well, not enough people you see don't provide opportunities for others to eat. We were started off talking about the handlers. A lot of handlers. Then you have handlers out here that's eating, but the kid that they in control of, they starving. and the family starving, houses in foreclosure, and people living in dire straits. You saw it. You're
Yeah,
a college coach in career.
yeah. But
Go
Jimmy,
on.
to help you out, I'm gonna bring you up to speed, Chris. What has happened? We talked about the kid, the young kid yesterday, the high school kid, and a lot of unprepared people around him, people who just not preparing them right. And what I was trying to put out a mandate to the people in the boom boom room, they got a guy like you, me, and Jimmy Hicks that can take your kid, help you guide your kid from all the way from the 9th grade till he retired from wherever, if he's a pro, if he's not a pro. You got guys out expertise right here on this show, giving it to you every single day, and you won't even reach out and just say, hey man, let me email you. I don't want everybody else to know. Like this little kid, Desmond. This guy need a guy like Robert Hatter. This guy need a Chris Walker in his life. And guess what? And people are nervous that we will take the kid from him. Dude, I got a son. I don't need another one. I need nobody else's kid. But I know if this kid don't get a guy like me, a Chris, a Jimmy around him and in his life, that guy is not gonna make it. I see it every day. I sent Mario Williams.
Ooh, that's a good one.
One pick in the whole NFL. His mind's so messed up. He go and take a universal remote and copy his baby mama's remote on her garage and sneak in her house last night and get arrested. I know the people who represented Mario Williams. They didn't care about Mario Williams. They cared about Mario Williams, the #1 pick. This is stuff that we are up against in our community, y'all. And y'all think it's not a game.
But Hatter,
Chris.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Everybody think it's about money, right? You know what it's about? It's about perceived money. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Most of these people ain't getting paid. Most of these people don't want to talk to you, Hatter, because it's not that they don't want they don't think they don't want you to get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they think is there's a whole bunch of money they can get for themselves. They don't think that you're pure at heart. But Hatter, here's the deal. When you talk about some kids' money, it ain't that much money to split up, Jimmy. The kids ain't gonna give you all that money either.
No.
Understand that. And you tell, hey, I wish you could tell him to. Oh, all right. Can I say his name?
Oh no, I can't do that. But no.
Okay.
But guess what?
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Jimmy, something happened this year.
Kids get amnesia. Them kids get amnesia.
This happened this year, right in this year's draft. Jimmy, you know how everybody be happy. Everybody be happy. Well, I'm gonna give my mama this, and I'm gonna give my brother this, and then that same said player, what did he say? Paying for all of this. I'm paying for all of this. Same player who the mama and the daddy and the brother and the took care all day night. I got to give them this. Chris, this happening right now.
They don't. But here's the deal, though. They don't. Let me tell you something, man. People, those kids growing up. I remember yesterday we were having this conversation, and Pat was talking about, man, that guy Jimmy made a great point. I don't know if the coach named Terrell. He's either invested in them or what, Jimmy? What was your term? With your phrase?
You're either giving your time or you invest in your time.
Right.
Yeah.
So I always tell people this when I give speeches, that there's transactional leadership and there's transformative leadership, right? Guess what? You got to be good at both of them. How about that? Transformative is the greatest of all, but you better learn how to transact too. Hey man, we need to get this done today. I ain't putting my arms around you today. I ain't loving up on you today. We got to get a task done. You know, it's results driven. You understand what I'm saying? How to miss or make lead. So when you're dealing with these kids, sometimes it is giving, and sometimes, Jimmy, it's investing. Sometimes it's both.
Some days, sometimes both.
Yeah. Dudes be acting like, oh, I'm just investing. You lying. Dudes be like, well, actually, they may not be lying, saying I'm investing, but the dudes that
They
act
saying
like
they
they
giving.
just
They
giving,
trying to.
they lying. They lying.
Yes. Then they
Like I
lying.
said, I can name 2 or 3 dudes in the city of Houston and other places where when they didn't have sneaker deals, the guys with the sneaker deals were the pariah or the worst dudes in the world. The minute they got an inch of daylight, how they ran for the end zone
Yes,
and didn't
sir.
look back because they finally got their chance. And then they end zone dance when they got there. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, man, as Jimmy always say, follow the money. The money makes these people crazy. And I'm telling you, we ain't talking about a bunch of money, Hatter. We talking about a piece of money.
Kibbles and bits.
A piece of money. Like I said, perceived money. Well, man, Hatter must be getting rich. Huh? What you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hatter want
Supposed
his
to be.
piece. Hatter want his piece. He want to get rich, but guess what? He ain't gonna get rich off y'all bros. He know that. He gotta string
No,
a
no.
hundred of y'all together.
There you go. There you go, Chris.
100 of y'all
There
together
you
to
go.
get rich.
I need a
What?
bunch of them.
A bunch of them. And I'll say this, and you guys and Jimmy, you can speak on it. There's only a couple dudes, and I don't know for sure, but only because he go by my brother barbershop, Rodney Hampton. There's just down to earth dudes, just down to earth. I don't know if he got a quarter, but just down to earth dudes. But these dudes today, and had to pull my coattail or something. Dudes like Antonio Brown, Pat Truesdale lookalike, and Zeke, they idiots, man.
Uh-huh.
They make us look bad, man. They make us look bad, Jimmy. And I hate saying that because them dudes got a lot of influence, a lot of power. They get on social media, they act like little broads, and they make us look bad, man. And at the end of the
Chris,
day, Haddon's right. Guess what? Master paying you, man. You better shut up and you better straighten up and fly right.
Chris, I'll
So
never forget this,
so
Jim.
what?
Jim, go.
Yeah.
You can go. Go.
No,
Go.
no. I mean, you go down. We go down. Then we can shift gears. We got another topic
No,
on.
I was just
We're
thinking
gonna get to.
about something. Chris, you made me think about something. It was a time, it's a few years back, and the new car came out, and I ordered the car, right, early, before it came out. I ordered it. And the car dealer, the guy who the car dealer, he liked to talk a lot. He telling, bragging, man, how to came here and ordered this on. A guy I used to represent, he got wind of it, that I ordered this car. Do you know he told a girl, I must be paying him too much.
Oh my
And
God.
nigga ordering a car like that. This is my mindset that professional athlete, some mindset, got way more money than me. Worried about me ordering a car. Unbelievable.
What is that?
You know
dude?
what I
Oh, the
did?
daytime. What's that?
Yeah, Chris, I went and got my
What's that?
deposit back.
I don't blame you.
Dude ran his mouth. You know why? The dude who ran his mouth, I didn't want him to benefit for me buying that car. I went and got my deposit back.
Because all he was gonna do, I mean, he only got that car because I gave him the money. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane. We don't want nobody else to eat. And my
We
thing
don't.
is, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that.
Now,
Hey,
we shift gear.
go on.
We shift gears right now, and what we're gonna give you guys now is that time. We're joined by Chris Walker, as you guys see right now. Chris is in the airport, and in parts
Chi-town.
unknown.
Chi-town.
Chi-town, what's going on? All right, I see you. Stay away from R. Kelly, boss.
Jim,
I love this new app y'all got. I love this new application, man. This is the future, man. I don't care
Hey,
what
Jim.
nobody says.
This is it right here.
Hey, he had love field. He ain't at O'Hare, so I can tell the background.
No. I'm in Midway.
He say love. He say love. You mean Midway? You mean Midway? Midway.
Midway.
Now here's what we got right now. The other day, Royce White. Right, we talked about it. We touched on it the other day, but we're back. Of course, Royce White made comments of voicing his opinion about LeBron James and in support, questioning why Carmelo isn't in the league and insinuating that LeBron has the authority to do so. I quote Royce White. He said, all of us here that played the game at the highest level, right, know how good Melo is. And we know that there's no way that the Lakers will go out and sign Jared Dudley and not sign Carmelo Anthony, right? Another question is, why is a guy like LeBron walking around here like he's the face and voice of the players? How is he letting his banana boat brother hang out they're in the wings.
Hey, Jimmy,
And
last time I
they
checked,
hold
is
on.
Carmelo
Let me
Anthony
read the
broke?
last statement. He says, and they go out and sign Jared Dudley and not Carmelo. If anybody watching this thinks Jared Dudley can hold Carmelo's jockstrap, I slap him. And that's the comment from Royce White, former Houston Rocket pick, who's now playing with the Big Three. Chris,
The what
go
three?
right to you. Your thoughts on the Big
The
Three?
what three? Oh, the big three. Oh, okay.
Ice Cube's
Ice
Big
Cube.
Three.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got you. I'm listening.
He
Oh,
said,
no, your thoughts.
Oh,
Your
here's my
thoughts.
thing, man. Here's my thing, guys. Let's keep it 100. There are
Okay.
dudes that are out there that can play in the NBA, that are in the G League, that are overseas. They're good enough. But guess what? It's contractual, it's attitude, it's fit, right? It's, guess what? The quarter ran out. You had old phones where the quarter ran out. They say you got to put another quarter in when Jimmy,
Oh, yeah.
when you in them
Oh,
other
yeah.
spaces, when you
Yeah,
got
that was
to
a long
sit
time
down.
ago.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is sometimes your number just called. Melo has never won anything. And guess what LeBron James is trying to end with his legacy, Hatter? I'm not a LeBron sexual, all right? But the bottom line is he's trying to win a championship. Guess what Melo is not interested in? Doing the things that help you win a championship. So bringing a guy like Jared Dudley may be a team uniter glue thing. They don't need another apex. They don't need another lion. They got 2 lions already. They need somebody who wants to be a monkey. They need somebody who wants to be aardvark. They don't need another dude who's trying to come in there and be a lion. That's the
Chris,
problem. That's why they don't need
Chris.
Melo. Don't need him.
Okay. Forget him coming to the Lakers.
Okay, that's a
What
different
about
deal.
his? Hold on. What he was saying, and you and Jimmy and all of y'all, Rich Paul, LeBron James, Rich Paul, they can do anything. They can shut down NCAA. They can shut down. If they can do all of that, can't they get Melo a job?
Nah, see, you're changing the argument. You're doing that thing that Jimmy always used to accuse me of doing. You lead the witness down the wrong road. It has
That's what.
nothing to
Hold
do
on.
with getting
That's
a
what.
job
Hold
at
on,
league.
Chris.
We're talking about the
That,
Lakers.
that's what. Hold on. That's what Royce White was saying.
Well, Rich Paul doesn't represent
And the
Carmelo.
White, he said he got all of his power.
Jimmy, Rich Paul is not his agent. Tell him to hire Rich Paul, and then hold LeBron accountable.
Okay.
LeBron don't want him on his team, because he's trying to win. So I wouldn't want him on my team. The Atlanta boat ain't
He
got
could have
nothing
had
to
him
win
on the
the
team.
championship.
Hey, he could have had him on the team last year because he definitely didn't win last year.
You see what happened when he got Dwayne Wade on the team, brought him on the team. Dwayne wanted to start. He's past his prime, sent him packing, and they went back to the championship. It don't work. They tried that experiment with one of the Banana Boat brothers already. It don't work.
I'm glad that kid stood up and said, "This your dude." Jimmy, then the other
He
day,
did it for Dwayne Wade, Jimmy.
then the other day you said, "That's my partner."
Y'all
Jimmy,
tripping,
give
man.
me your partner speech again. Jimmy, I go on vacations with y'all. I drink vino with y'all. I might didn't get, hold on. I didn't get on the banana boat with y'all, but I was in the boat driving the banana boat, but I wasn't on the boat with y'all.
Jimmy,
And
the
Job,
dude don't need no money. He don't need no money.
vice president of the Players Association, LeBron James.
You
Chris,
tripping.
come
You just
on.
hating. You hating
No,
right now.
nah.
That is hating. Jimmy, please chime in. Please talk to this dude. Talk some sense in the Hatter.
I mean, on yesterday, yesterday evening, that was a back and forth joust between Kendrick Perkins and Royce White. That was rather
And Roy shut
rather
him down.
intriguing on
Shut him
Twitter.
down. What did he say to shut him down? That you got to
And
do charity for a guy who's supposed to be a Hall of Famer that's never won? Okay, if you want to do charity, do charity.
Chris. We always
well,
say, Jimmy,
it started.
go
Go
Jimmy.
on.
No, because
No,
Jimmy,
go on.
just the other day, that's my partner. My partner had to get on Stephen A. Smith's show and tell y'all that I will accept it. They never told me to accept this position. Daryl
Had a
Morey just
had
treated
a
me. Hold on, Daryl Morey treated me like a buster. I'm just
had a
saying, if LeBron
had a
James is his friend with the stroke, he spoke up for what's that? Jafar, this company, this country over there was and they helped that country. Speak up for Melo.
I'm gonna talk to Jimmy because you're not making no sense right now. Jimmy, here's my thing. Here's my thing, Jimmy. Here's my thing. Carmelo Anthony was notorious. Remember what happened when Linsanity, when he started blowing up with the Knicks? What did Carmelo do? Went in there and ruined that. What did he do? You know what? He goes to the Thunder, and guess what happened? He ain't the same. He is not the same player. Now all of a sudden, because guess what? He's been humbled by people who see he doesn't have the same skills, and guess what else he don't have? The same pedigree. Don't talk about them 2 gold medals with the Olympics. He got other dudes that are like him on that team, and we better than everybody else. The bottom line is, now that his life is falling apart, I don't want to say nobody's personal life, it's falling apart. Don't nobody want the drama that comes along with the being a diva. Do you remember how unceremoniously that Allen Iverson was exited out of the NBA? He was still able to play, but guess what he said? I'm not coming off the bench. But guess what? All them tattoos and cornrows and all that stuff you were doing, you pay. It's guess what? It's coming. You got to pay the price. The chickens have come home to roost. Jimmy, the chickens have come home to roost, and that's why nobody don't want him. And that's why they will take a guy like Jared Dudley over a guy like Carmelo. Drop the mic.
That's not the only
That
reason.
was terrible. That was terrible. Go on,
What?
Jimmy.
Now,
was terrible.
I was telling. I mean, that's not the only reason, Chris. You know that.
Oh, well, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I understand, and I'm looking at some of the comments from Kendrick, the conversation between Royce White and Kendrick Perkins on yesterday.
Okay.
And Kendrick Perkins says, how it started was Kendrick Perkins replied to the video or made a comment about the video that Royce made. And his video was basically he antagonized Royce White. So he invited Royce White to respond.
Yeah.
So what KP said was, KP says, I had to watch this video a few times before I decided to give my input on this. And all I have to say is somebody needs to drug test this dude because he's too aggressive. And do y'all see the veins in his neck? I'm not rolling with this at all. So that's Kendrick Perkins said that about him.
That wasn't right. That wasn't right.
And that's what started it. That's what started it. And so they went going, and I'll just get down to the and you guys can go and follow them and read it. It was a bunch of different.
Talking about the man's veins in his neck.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get to the root of the situation.
Well, and so Kendrick Perkins, you mentioned about Dudley. Why would they hire Dudley? So KP says, I think Jared Dudley is the perfect fit for the Lakers. He knows his role, and he's going to do all the little things that don't show up in the stat sheet, but help teams to win games. It reminds me of James Posey with the 2008 Celtics. I mean, a lot of times you have to realize they're looking for a fit.
Thank you.
And Carmelo is the question with Carmelo is being blackballed. And that's what Royce White said. How in the hell you mean to tell me think about it now? You start thinking about the same question we had for Kaepernick a couple of years ago.
No, stop
You mean
it.
no? Meaning what I'm saying? The question was about Kaepernick was last year and the year before last was you mean to tell me that he can't play backup? But at the same time, remember Chauncey
Billups want to, Jimmy. He
Well,
doesn't.
no. This morning, it was confirmed. Carmelo has changed his stance. He has changed his stance. Stephen A. Smith. No, I'm saying though, dude, everybody gets old and change their stance. So now he's not doing it like Cap. Carmelo is saying, I will come off the bench. I have no problem with that now.
You know why he's saying that, Jimmy? You know why he's saying that?
What do you mean? He has no choice.
Because he couldn't get his way. So it ain't like he willingly did it. He did it because guess what? Nobody wants him.
Okay, but the thing is, no.
Chris.
So why does he sit on the bench? So why is he on the sideline then? If nobody wanted him, why is he on the sideline?
So I got a question, Chris. You telling me it's 450 guys gonna play in this league this year,
That's a
and
bad
Melo
question.
is not one of them guys?
That's a bad
Melo is not
question.
one of them guys.
He wasn't last year. I dropped. He was not last year.
Drop no mic. You're going to break your little mic. You're going to need your mic. So don't
He
drop it no
wasn't.
more.
He was not last year. How about that?
You're not.
Hey, he had a Daryl Morey walked in and says your services are no longer needed.
Chris, I got a question. Chris, let me tell you something. Usually the people who drop the mic have profound comments. You have not made a profound comment yet, so quit dropping the mic. Hold the mic right in front of your mouth.
I'm gonna build on something that Jimmy said. Jimmy said about Jared, and he expounded on what Kendrick Davis said. He said it's about fit. What they need from Carmelo, they may need a guy that can come in and just pass the ball to LeBron, play defense. Hey, you remember a guy that played for the Lakers? Let me think. His name was Luke Walton. Remember that guy? Oh, let me think for a second. Let me see. Maybe there's a guy that played for Golden State Warriors named exactly. Carmelo can't be that guy. And how about this, Jimmy? He's never won. So now we're telling this dude, hey man, guess what? I know you've been eating meat all your life. Now you got to eat vegetables all your life. You making this dude. He's only doing it because he can't be in the league anymore. And I get it. I understand it. But he's never won. The Lakers have taken enough risk. Hell, Rondo's a risk. You don't need Rondo and Carmelo. You need a locker room dude. Carmelo is not a locker room dude. I dropped the mic again, Howard. He's not a locker room dude.
Come on, Jim.
Jimmy,
Now,
that don't make sense, Jimmy.
So-
knows
so-
what I'm talking
One of the greatest
so
locker room
Chris-
guys out there. Huh?
Chris,
Oh, my
so
God.
you, so
Oh,
you,
my God.
so
Oh,
Chris
my
Walker, you honestly believe, understand that you honestly believe that Carmelo Anthony is not good enough to contribute to a team as a second string.
See, you guys are having a different argument than I'm having. I'm not saying that he can't play basketball. What I'm saying is he's not a winner. And now all of a sudden he wasn't a winner being a star. So now he gonna help a team win coming off the bench? Come on, guys, y'all got
He
it's
has
conventional wisdom.
won
It's
before.
logic. What does he want,
He
Hatter?
just
I'm
haven't
listening.
won a championship.
He won at Syracuse.
He won at New
He-
York. He won at Syracuse, and he
Whoa,
won
whoa,
in
whoa, whoa,
Atlanta.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Shut
whoa,
up.
whoa, whoa. Back it up.
I
Back the
got
truck
the
up.
mic.
Back the truck up. He's never won a playoff series in the NBA in his whole career.
Yes,
And
he
I'm gonna
did.
think of
Denver,
another guy.
yes, he did with Denver.
Oh, that one series, my
Yeah.
bad. In like 20 years, he won one playoff series in 20 years. Let me give you another guy who's in the Hall of Fame, who I can't believe is in the Hall of Fame. And y'all gonna get mad at me when I say that. And I think he won one playoff series. Tracy McGrady.
Agree with you.
Tracy McGrady. Are you kidding me? Come on, Jimmy. The dude has not won. But LeBron is trying to win a championship, man. Y'all understand that? He's not messing with that dude, man.
Last year. Why didn't he pick him up last year? He wasn't trying to win there last year. Why didn't he pick him up last year?
Why? Okay, you want the girl that don't nobody want? You want the girl that don't nobody want?
Somebody want Melo.
So now
Okay.
speaking
And
of this topic,
I guarantee he's gonna be sitting on the sideline.
now speaking of this topic, now I want to add something to it that's very important. And remember now, a lot of people are rocking with Royce White on his comments, and a lot of people are. Now at the same time, Kendrick Perkins in their verbal spar, Kendrick Perkins took it another step lower. And I read this, what Kendrick Perkins said about Ross. He says, let's not use mental illness the discussion to cover up you going viral talking reckless about someone who earned his roster spot. You can have your opinion, but it's how you went about it. Tearing down one to big up another ain't it. And so
And
Denny
that's the only thing I agree with, Jimmy. I wouldn't have used Royce White's name. I mean, I wouldn't have used what's the guy, Jared Dudley's name. That's the only thing. That's why I didn't like even when I
A
mentioned
career
something
NBA
earlier.
dude. A career NBA dude too, had not a scrub. Been in the league 10
But
plus
Jimmy,
years.
But Jimmy, at some point, Jimmy, we got to start in five. We had not recognized the day, and I can't go without recognizing my starting five. Okay.
We're gonna pop the starting five and close and land the plane. We missed it at the top of the hour. We're gonna land the plane with the starting five. That's when we land the plane.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna read some of the comments right now in the Boom Boom Room. And Rebecca White is in the boom boom room right now. She's the mother of Royce White. Chris Walker, she says she can't wait to meet you and put something
Why?
in your life. All that mess you talk. She says, and that's the
I done,
result of media induced blackball. Melo ain't good enough. Stop. This is her comment. What do you have to say about that?
see, they're not understanding. No one ever said he's not good enough. There are other guys that are good enough. He has not won. He's not
Okay.
a fit.
He's
That's
just
all
not
I'm
a right
saying.
fit. Okay.
He's not the right fit.
But I'm
And he
not
ain't
But,
never
talking about the
and
right.
hold up.
But
Chris,
guess
And
what?
he ain't never won nothing. And
for
I
Chris, guess
30
what?
damn
he
teams, for 30 teams, 32
Yeah.
teams, he's
dude,
not a fit for
that dude,
32
that,
teams
and best question, Jimmy. How long has Melo been in the NBA?
since
About 15 years?
2004.
Okay.
2004.
Guess what? He didn't cash a whole lot of checks from the NBA. He didn't had a whole lot of chances. Let's give somebody else a chance. Just because he decides that he all of a sudden wants to change his mind, don't mean the league has to comply. Because for a long time, he thought that he was the guy, and all
Chris,
of a sudden the league showed him his value, and now he's upset. And he said, "Well, okay, well I'll come off the bench now. Guess what? We'll let you know when we'll let you know when you can come off the bench. Just because you decide that you want to do something to change your mind, don't mean
Hey,
the league got to comply."
I'm with Royce White. All I'm saying is, my partner
Man, please.
is the baddest dude in the league, the most influential two dudes. My other partner is Chris Paul. He tried. He got me with the Rockets. And LeBron got
And look
mad with
and
the
look how that
Rockets.
turned out. And look how that turned out.
LeBron got mad at me when the Rockets fired him. I remember that. LeBron would call Chris and say, "Hey, man, what the hell going on down there?" So all I'm telling you is, Chris, if
Y'all
LeBron,
crazy.
all you sexuals, all Royce White was saying is, if mighty LeBron got that much stroke, well, why can't he get him a job?
Hey Jimmy.
That's
Hey
all.
Jimmy. Hey Jimmy. Hey Jimmy. You my man. We grew up on South Hall together all our lives. You know, if some point I want to run for City Hall and I'm your guy, and then somebody gonna come to you and be like, "Jimmy, Chris is your man. You can't put him down." You gonna be like, "Look, man, here's the deal. He is my man, but he did this, and that. And guess what? All the friendship in the world can't help him get to where he want to go. So that's just how
Okay.
it is. Gotta
I'm
be a
glad you
man,
told me that. Thank you, Chris. Hey, Jimmy. That's how I'm
and
gonna
I
do it
gotta
when you run
accept that.
That's how I'm
And
gonna
that's
do
how I
your
gotta
ass when you
accept
run
it.
wrong.
Jimmy, hold on, let Jimmy explain. Hey, Jimmy, that's how I gotta accept it, right? And you're gonna be like, "Man, you know you my guy, and I want to help you like crazy. But here's the deal. It's not gonna happen." What's wrong with telling that dude that? What's wrong with telling the boxer, guess what, man? It's your last round, man. Ali, you got to sit it down, man. But man, I can still give you a couple more dollars. Man, they're gonna knock your block off, man. Man, I still think I got it. At what point does a fighter don't have it no more? And at what point, and again, about Melo, it's not about his ability. It's his attitude and what they think he brings to the table. And if things don't work out, now they got to get rid of him because guess what? He's not used to being this type of dude. He's not used to being
Friends,
Harrison Barnes at the
Chris,
how
Olympics.
many of
Chris,
them
Come on,
have
Jimmy.
them?
Chris,
Friends.
All right, y'all. Hey,
Carmelo Anthony, the way that he was rolled out with the Houston Rockets, he averaged double digits
so
coming
what?
off the bench, and
So
they
what? His
rolled him in
attitude was
10 games.
terrible.
In
His
10
attitude
games,
was terrible. His
dude.
attitude was terrible.
Remember
He
now,
wasn't a
understand
fit.
Chris. You wasn't in Houston at the time. You was in California when the stuff
You're
unraveled
right.
last year. They
You're right.
made
Hey, how
that
about
man
this?
believe that he thought he was going to be
How
started.
about
He really
this,
thought
Jimmy?
he was going to be started.
How about
And
this, Jimmy? How about the Rockets were disingenuous because they know he and D'Antoni fell out in New York. But how about when they got rid of him? How about they end up having the best record in the NBA? Ooh,
Because they
had
had
they
James
had the best record in the
Harden.
NBA. They
Because
after
didn't
the
have
they
the
All
best
Star
record
break,
in
they
the
had the
NBA.
best record. After the All Star break,
after
they
the
had the best
All-Star
record in
break,
the
yeah.
NBA. Yes, they did. After the All Star break, they had the best record in the NBA.
You said after the all, they fired him after 10 games, Chris. We ain't talking about the All-Star break. 10 games. They fired him before Thanksgiving.
Hey, a smart coach knows it's not gonna work, man. A smart coach knows when it's not gonna work. They know it. They knew it wasn't gonna work. They knew it.
So
You know why? How about this? How do you know no reason why? Hey, Jimmy, real quick. You know another reason why they knew it couldn't work? Because they said, you know what? These little banana boat dudes, Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony, we need to break that up. because we're gonna ship Chris Paul at the end of the year. Hey, is Chris Paul still with the Rockets? Last time I checked. Dad, I'm gonna drop that mic again. Come on, man.
Chris,
Y'all
you
gotta see
are
the
the
writing on the wall, man.
troublest.
Okay, and listen, y'all gotta see the writing on the wall. I'm just telling you, it's about fit and chemistry. It don't work.
Hey,
LaMelo
hey,
still
man,
can't
look,
be James Harden.
hey, Chris, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You,
Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Tell Miss
Tell me.
White anywhere, anytime. Anywhere, anytime. Miss White, I'm right here. Anywhere, anytime.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Chris
Hey,
Walker.
I'm gonna
Chris
tell her. I'm
Walker.
gonna tell her what Clever Lane. I'm gonna tell her what Clever Lane said. He said, "You got a prediction for this fight?" What did Clever Lane say? Hard Hatter? Pain. Come on.
Hey guys, don't forget, guys, this weekend, Friday from 9 to 2 p.m. Listen, check this out. HISD is having a backpack drive. They're giving away free backpacks and school supplies on Friday. Yes, it is Friday. That's tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. School doesn't start for HISD until Monday. So this is big. Last year they served about 5,000 kids. This is going to be a great thing. Don't forget also this weekend we have Daniel Gibson, Damian Dotson, and Wesley Iwundu from the Orlando Magic. They all have combined to host a back to school drive this weekend on Saturday as well. I'm going to show up over there and support those young fellas on what they're doing this weekend. That's a great thing. Back to school drive.
Where's that? Where the place?
The one that Damien never doing. It's going to be. I'll give you guys the address. It's 1401 Sterrett Street. Sterrett. 1401 Sterrett Street, and that's in South Houston from 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday. That's August the 24th. It's a meet and greet with Damian Dotson, Daniel Gibson, and of course Wesley Iwundu. Guess what? I mean, and these are three darlings of H-Town. It's always great when those type of guys come together to do some things for our community. Make sure you get over there and support them if you're on the south side of Houston. Also, Rucker on Wood takes place on Sunday. Rucker on Wood, baby. I got my jersey right here. And, hey, Rucker on Wood, baby. Rucker on Wood. That's going to be Sunday at University of St. Thomas. And that's going to be, games will start up about 2:45. University of St. Thomas.
Hey, Jimmy. Let me send a message to LJ Cry. LJ Cry, you better go over there and be Dan Tony or something.
No, this not his week. This not his week. It's not his week.
Oh man,
no, this is
week. There you go.
This is 9th and 10th, the 9th and 10th graders.
Oh, okay, it's not his week. Oh, okay, my bad.
No.
9th and 10th graders.
Tomorrow March show up. That's who you need to worry about.
My bad. I don't want nobody to tag. My bad. I don't want nobody to tag head off. I don't want this ankle to come up injured. Them little famous injuries. My bad, CC.
But hey, Chris, before you go, the starting five was Anthony Weston, Dale Anderson,
What's up, man?
Odyssey Williams, Lionel Gar, and Melvin Dews. And guess who signed on to the YouTube while we was on the air? It's SIMBAC, Simbac 23. I don't know your real name, but I guess you was watching the show today. SIMBAC 23. Shout out to you for being a person that signed up and subscribed to our YouTube channel today. You're right for you, baby. Now, where is Chris? You got
and also, I'm gonna get my starting five today was Todd Holmes, Mustafa Abdul Malik, Rebecca White, Lionel Gar, Kevin Freitman round out my starting five. Shout out to all five of you guys. Thanks so much for tuning into the Chop Shop. Make sure you share the show. That's so important to do so. Share the show to your timelines. Spread the word. You know, we only broadcast Monday through Thursday from 12 to 2 Central Time. So we're off the air this weekend. On Friday, and of course, we won't see you guys until Monday. But thanks so much for tuning in. Lastly, Hannah, we got to put this on Chris. Even though it's an exhibition or a scrimmage game, we got to go on record right now. Who you rocking with on the football game? Cowboys. Who you rocking with?
Listen,
I'm a Texan.
I got one prediction for that game. Bang.
Hey man, go get in your Uber. Hey, go get in your Uber, cause I know ain't nobody picking
I'll
you
see
up.
y'all Monday, man.
Hey, and want to give you guys breaking news. Of course, Ezekiel Elliott has been tendered an offer for the Dallas Cowboys to make him one of the highest paid. So more details on that, you guys. That was from Ed Warner from ESPN. That's breaking news. They have issued Ezekiel Elliott an offer that would guarantee him one of the highest paid. So that means it would be somewhere around in the number 2 or the number 3 hole. But anyway, thanks a bunch for tuning in to the Chop Shop. Share the show, guys. Hey, the best 120 minutes of your day is the Chop Shop. Hey, Power 101.5. We'll be back in the studio one of the days next week. We told you they're doing some electronic, some work over there, trying to get all this stuff right. And guess what? It's time to yabba dabba do this thing. Slide down Dino's back. It's time to hit the weekend, guys. Chop Shop. I'm out.
All right, let me hit that button.